four of you in here already. Would you like a gummy bear? I kind of lost track of time. I had dinner and I was sitting there with my wife, just kind of BSing. It's like, oh, I need a sweet treat, so I go out into the kitchen and get some gummy bears, and then realize what time it was. But I'm here, and I'll try and not that I yell on these lives or anything, but my son is in the next room in his bedroom. Over from me is in a Zoom meeting for college. So, not that, like I said, I don't hoot and holler here. So, but yeah, it is Thursday. Dirt Kart Racer Live. Somebody had suggested that I name the episodes, and I don't know what I talk. I just kind of interact with you guys, so I don't really have unless I come up with like a concept that I want to talk about. Yeah, I don't know what to name them, so I just put the date. What's going on, man? I just put the date for now, and then I can kind of tell which ones are which type of thing. But yeah, there's that. And I'm still debating on Sunday's video what it's going to be about. I had this recent one about karting and social media, but I'm not sure how to put all those thoughts together. And essentially, it would be what's going on, man. Essentially, what it'd be is me just kind of putting out there what karting social media stuff I follow, and I would like to hear from you guys what ones you follow, and then kind of I it's just I don't want to say karting's behind, but I don't think that karting, if you follow things like I know we're not as big, don't get me wrong, but like Supercross or NASCAR or anything like that, and they have a presence. The teams have a presence online and stuff, and I think that there is a lot of online stuff. I just think that there could be a bigger presence in the Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. More the merrier. Ultimate Karting Media, they're doing a real good job. If you haven't caught them on Facebook on Wednesdays, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Already up their game digitally with the layout. Brought the camera in a little closer. They said they got some video and audio stuff coming in, so I think it's real cool. They're I think that I don't want to say I'm at a disadvantage because I do what I do and created Kart 63 from the north, but they're much more centralized in the hub of racing. So it's around them a lot more, and they get to race a lot more. Currently it's 15 degrees here in New York, and I ain't anywhere near racing. So, cheating with nitro and a clone. Ooh, yeah. I haven't seen any fuel tests in a long time. That used to be a real big thing back in the day with flatheads. We used to get tested or a pump around quite often at Paradise Speedway back when I ran flatheads. They'd bring around the pump around cup and suck whatever fuel you got in your tank out, and then pump some back in, so everybody was getting a lid of if somebody had some hot stuff in there, everybody would get it in there. But yeah, nitro and a clone. I mean, the problem with cheating with a clone is I think that it would be, it's going to be very noticeable, not only on the stopwatch, but just like a passing gear type thing. If there's that much more, if the engine's got that much more guff, I mean, what's a really really good clone? 13 to 15 horsepower, maybe. If you even bump that thing up to 16, 17 horsepower, it's going to be really noticeable on straightaways, especially passing this and that. And it would be, I would assume your major places have ways of teching fuel. I come from a little all star, so if it isn't against state or federal regulation, you can run it. That's very nice. small black one. People have done that before. The turbo Wingnut is questioning here. Turbo on a small block open. I think Harold Wiggins ran into this when he ran a Jawa. So he had two Jawas. One was naturally aspirated. It might have been mechanically injected, but and then the other had a turbo on it. And what he found was that the RPM, that there was something, it didn't spool up the turbo fast enough. So Mark Bergfeld, if you want to rewind a whole bunch of years, he ran a two-stroke, and what he did was he put a leaf blower, which crammed air into the carburetors on his two-stroke. Now, that's I think also the problem you run into with any kind of with a supercharger or a turbo is you draw an amount of power away from the engine in order to run that. So the positive has to outweigh the negative, or you're just going to flatline and it just looks cool. So definitely something to consider. Is it possible? I'm sure it's possible. I don't have an engineering background to know. What I had heard was that the turbos do not spool up fast enough to make a difference, and that's why something like injection or NOS or something like that would be it wouldn't take away from the power of the engine to add power, on the top end. Yeah, there's nothing about turbo. Hey, there's nothing about dirt oval karting, and I'm wondering, I'm trying to get into racing. I it Buy the best cart you can is all I can say, because I if anybody watches this channel, I ride Phantom. I really like Phantom. I've been on them since 2017, I think. But I've also ridden a whole bunch of other chassis. You're going to get, if you ask anybody, they're going to have their preferences of what chassis they run, which is perfectly fine. They're all nowadays modern chassis are. They're not all the same. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but they're all within realm of one another. I would just, if you're just getting into racing, do what you can with what you have. There's I would say, watch my channel if you're wanting to learn about kart racing. I have, well, what is it's 2025. I started this channel in 2020, so I got 5 years of videos racing and on any topic that you could possibly think about racing. If you have a question about it, changing chains or anything simple like that to racing etiquette, you can watch channel. As far as just do what you can with what you have. You don't ever chase the Joneses. Um, oh, they're faster because they're on a brand new this or brand new that. Just uh, racing. Everybody wants to win. Not everybody can win, and you have to start from the bottom and move up. Unless you're extraordinarily wealthy and you can come in with the best of the best and pay people to do your tires and basically you just get in the seat and run it. You're going to have to learn this stuff eventually. It's better to start with some real basic stuff and just learn and know that you're going to make mistakes, but you take it step after step. You get a reasonably priced cart. Get as modern as possible. I would say it's not that the old stuff doesn't work. It's just there's a little more information, and you're going to run into parts as well with a more modern chassis. If you bend a spindle or an axle or this and that, you're not searching for a 1995 whatever chassis. They don't make those anymore. They don't make spindles for that anymore. But if you run something current, it's a 2010 or newer, chances are it's going to be, even if that company doesn't make that particular chassis anymore, the components usually will fit, or you can make something work. So just something to consider. I think that I hate when people just and it's not it. I don't know how to word this. Do with what you can. That's all I have ever done, and it has made me a better racer because of it. Not having everything kind of handed to me. Okay. Uh, they do a field test. Okay, cool. That's I just up north here. We don't usually. A matter of fact, I inquired about fuel at a local clone race, and the tech guy, the guy who did the engines, I guess it's never even been a question. Um, he answered me. He was just like, I don't know, right, 89 actane, 87 actane, whatever it is. And I reached out to my engine builder, like, yeah, 87, just get that stuff and run it. And they're like, it's not, you can see performance gains from it. And much like in open racing and UAS racing, that you can run hotter fuel, but it doesn't always mean anything because you need the porting, you need this, you need that, you need the compression in order to actually make that fuel do what it's supposed to do. It's not as simple as I just ran a higher octane. It may burn more efficient, um, but that's about that. 100 ton few Tesla. Awesome, good. See, I just don't know. I'm in my neck of the woods, and it's my own. I say it's my own fault. I wanted to dip my toes into, let's say, clone racing, just by staying local for the first year. I may go south, maybe. Maybe I'll go west. I don't know. Try and get a race or two in. I did get thinking about that last night because I put up the dogwood race, the Burris dogwood race, and then the one in Michigan. Um, Guy Bear had shared that, and it got me considering it. And what popped in my head is it's the clone cart. Like if I choose to race like that, I don't actually have to take my trailer, even though it's just a little 4x8. I could stuff the cart in the back of the truck, tires and what have you, toolbox. I can go to the races more on the cheap with the clone than I can the open. And I think I'm just wired because I when you take the open, you better be bringing backup of this and backup of that, and lots of tools, lots of fuel, lots of there's just extra when you take the open places because it usually takes more maintenance. To whereas I think I could travel, down south, out west a little bit more um, in the truck with the clone if I choose to do so. But yes, good to know, and that's going to these races, I'll have to be reaching out like, hey, where's fuel depot? Can you buy it at the track? Things like that. Cause I don't ever, not that I'm going to show up to any race in a clone and do exceptionally well. But if I did get to the point where they were checking fuel and I was all, out of sorts because I like New York fuel or some non-ethanol stuff. And I don't want to get booted for that stuff. I don't like the DQ. I try and run. I don't mind running on the ragged edge, but legal ragged edge. I'm not about the cheating. It I don't like it. It makes me mad. If you cheat to win, then you suck. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, Jacob, because I had a oh, boy, I can't remember his Pounds. Is his last name Pounds? Anyway, he had a big block, and he came up north. He came up to the track Paradise Speedway one time for a UAS race, and he had is it Nos or our other buddy too? He had a Wankel. He had Nos in the fuel line coming into the carburetor, so he had his all set up. It didn't inject. It wasn't in the fuel or in the fuel tank. It wasn't right to the carburetor, but it was in the fuel line, kind of tucked away, just because he liked to do that. Puckett was the guy's name, and he into the so there was a delay, I think, and it would take a second for that fuel to run in, and then but that thing was wicked, man. Could you explain lateral grip? Oh, that'd be a good one. I will say this: that they're not a competitor of mine because we do two separate things. But is it Kart Speed Solutions? I can, and I'll do a video on it. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I won't do it, but Kart Speed Solutions, I believe they're really good at the technical stuff. I think that they're definitely got a good thing going. They have some course you can pay for, and learn the logistics of your. It's I'm a I may live up north, but I am very much a redneck. Uh, do everything the hard way and learn that way. But yeah, but definitely, I have looked at. Matter of fact, my cart owner, Walt, when he was still with, I say with me, he's not dead, but he doesn't race with me anymore. He was real big on that and going into that Micron 4 and comparing, corners. And then he's just like, oh, it looks like you had way more lateral grip in 3 and 4 um, than 1 and 2. And I'm like, yep, felt that. I can tell when it's hooked up better, but it you can use it like anything else. You just pretty much use it as a barometer of where you once were. You much like a lap time. You get, hey, I'm running 11.2 here. Next run out, you ran 11.1. Okay, I got the adjustments I made got me faster, or the track got better. That type of thing. Um, how do to adjust for lateral grip, there would be a multitude of things to do. If you have too much left side, you're not going to have as much right side bite. You're not going to get that lateral grip. If you sit up higher in your seat, you're gonna load the right side. Does it mean it's faster? No, you can have a ton of grip and it can slow the cart down. So that's a balancing act. But I think it's just a measurement tool to see whether or not you're getting any better on a particular end. If you got I don't know, 38%, lateral grip in one, and 58%, there's a big disparity there. And chances are, if there's that big of a, it's the same cart, so the corners are going to be different. The amount of rubber laid down, or how much wetness is in the track, it's actually causing that grip, would be my opinion on that. But yeah. Hello. Oh wow. Huh? That uh I've never really played with the nitro stuff because I've run a two-stroke all these years, and we all know what happens to a two-stroke when you get it too lean and nitrous, nitro, all that stuff. I used to race with a buddy, Strail Gallup, and like I said, we can, uh, if it's legal, then illegal per state and federal or whatever, you can run it in your fuel in UAS. Um, and I believe he had I don't know if it was 10% or if what percentage of nitro that he ran in his two strokes, but he had the carburetors set right, the proper amount of oil and everything. There's one thing that some people get blown away by. They asked me two stroke stuff, and they're just like, what kind of oil you're running? And I was like, there's a couple different mixes that I've run. Typically, I run Blendzall Green Label, which is caster, just a straight caster. Nothing, it's been around forever. Works really, really well. The reason to run it is you can run on gas and you can run it on methanol. It blends nicely with methanol. It doesn't coagulate like some other brands that I've seen there. But 8 ounces of oil to a gallon, which seems like a lot. It's like 16 to 1. And it's hard to explain that to people that may have run, say, motocross or something like that, and say they got a 252 stroke, dirt bike, or they used to run one, and they run, like 40 to 1 or 50 to 1, and it's just like, no, 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 no. This is a race engine. We're turning them way more RPM than you need to, so you bump that oil up. Oil does not make power. But it can, people got to text me. People got to accept that you need more oil in there if you're going to be pushing your engine. So you figure, like, the Bama 250 is based off of a YZ 250. It's the jug, it's the this and that. Well, they don't turn them the amount of RPMs we turn. I know it's not, to some degrees. Um, say a sedan, it will turn 14, 15,000 RPM. We turn, at least I turn my Bama anywhere from 10.5 to 11,000 RPM. That's a lot for a bike. So that, and it's also considered the sustained RPM. So when you're on a dirt bike, you're just rap through the gears. You got these peaks. That's why their pipes are different. Where we have these elongated pipes that carry RPM. There's basically a 3 to 4,000 RPM range that you're shooting for when you come up off the corner. As you get into the corner, that's what you're running. Well, it's a long sustained thing. You need the oil and everything to be protecting that piston, just winging up and down in there faster than what the manufacturer intended it to do. So just little things like that. The other mix I ran, though, was it's Blendzall, but Blendzall Gold Label, otherwise known as Panther piss. It had that in it. So that has, I think you put 16 ounces of that per gallon, and then an extra 2 ounces. I think it's 2 ounces of green label in there as well to equal out the 8 ounces. So you're using the octane boost as an octane boost. It actually helps clean up throttle response and cold starts and stuff like that. It works really well. I'm probably not going to run it anymore just because it's an added expense. And even though there are benefits to it, I didn't, it was never anything from the seat of the pants that I thought, I really saw on the stopwatch that was making things better. I'm probably just going to fade back into the 8 ounces per gallon of Blendzall Green Label, but a little two-stroke stuff for you guys. Okay. Yeah, VO spot. I know. But that's what I'm saying. That God, it's in March. I just get thinking of like I have to have my. I mean, I don't have to. I could run under. My engines. My clones are last year's AKRA rules. So the only thing basically I'm missing is the cam. Um, but I have to take my one engine down to my engine builder soon here. I don't know. It'd be nice to have an updated, fresh engine, but it's cubic dollars. I would love to race everywhere. I'd love to travel. I'd love to. Well, I don't love to travel because Dogwood. I looked at it. It's like, what the hell was it? Was it 13 hours? Ugh. That's my wife's like, you considering it? I'm like, I would like to. I don't know that I will. I have to come up with tires. I gotta get my engine. I gotta get I gotta get the recon torn down. I gotta put the bearings in the recon. I gotta, just a lot of stuff. Uh, I would like to do way more than I can. It'd be great. But totally keep on forgetting about the whole sticker thing. I have the stickers. I have envelopes. I need stamps, so I said it last week. I keep on telling you that I'm going to get on the sticker thing. Eventually, here when I remember, I will get it done. I'll get it posted up. I think it's just Kart. Like I said, in a video a while ago, though, it's going to have to be PayPal, and then like in the comments, leave your address so I know where to ship them, type thing. But I'll get it figured out. It's not on my highest priority list. Getting through my son got me going to another gym, so a little inside baseball. Say a Monday, we'll take a Monday. Well, I was boxing with him for a month, and there's no more boxing, thank God. Remembering that combo stuff is very difficult for this old guy. Um, but so get out of work. We have a membership at the YMCA, so I go and I've been doing cardio because I'm getting chubby, and I really could use the cardio. And then I go to this other place called Fuel Fitness, and I do my heavy lifting. So I've been doing that hitting two gyms in one day, and it's burning up a lot of time. I feel better. I feel pretty good. New one for you. Thought about running TH. No prep guy. Yeah, this as much as I'm a track cat guy. I like, and I'll bring a story in after. I'm not against the no prep classes by any means. In the treads, I think it's awesome. I think if that's what the racers want, that's what the racers should do. Absolutely. Um, I do like it. I think it evens the playing field a little bit. The caveat to this is what I was just mentioning is I like the prep thing. I think it adds an element. What is otherwise a, I don't want to say simplistic sport. I'm not degrading kart racing at all, but clone racing in general, they're a basic machine. It does come a lot down, even with no prep. It comes down to the tires doing what they're going to do, but set up and driver. And I totally get people wanting to be on treads and even in that field, but the prep adds an element to it that just makes you can, people who are really good at it can excel. That's and until it's completely banned and nobody can run it whatsoever, bar none, we're done here. Somebody's always going to find a way. Matter of fact, if they try and ban it, obviously you saw the World of Outlaws there, or whatever it was just recently. World of Outlaws. That's not right. Anyway, yeah, that people are getting simple green. People get busted doing stuff, and oh, this is giving you advantage, and this. If there is a way to find speed, people are going to do it. I hate when I go to say something and I freaking drop the ball. But yeah, no, I'm not against it. Treads have never really worked for me, but I've never been forced to run them. If I happen to be in an area that they had treads, and this is what you got to run. You're not allowed to prep them. You're not allowed to touch them. Cool, I get it. Let's race. I'm down for a race no matter what. I don't need to do that stuff. I just like to do it. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool. 400-pound rule for open. I I am 220 pounds. I think, I don't know, I'd have to be on the scale, but I was making 375 pretty standard in the clone. Uh, I have to have lead on the open to make 420 for the UAS stuff. Which is weird because I thought that at this weight that I'd be well over my weight limit, but apparently I got my cart light enough. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny. What I was gonna, the little story I was gonna tell was, so I shared, just a little clip from last video where I, announced Burris Racing tires are on board for Car 63, and did all that, and then I shared it. I think Instagram, and Mike Burris came on, so the dad, and he doesn't like prep. I know he doesn't like prep. I am well aware, and it's just he's always been a setup guy, changing rim widths, which I discussed in that one video, and I totally get it. I don't disagree. I just happen to be, and I answered him as such. I think that Mike's just he's extremely old school, and I don't disagree. I think that there's something to be said for just you, the setup, the driver, and get it done type of thing. I totally get it. I like the element of it, but it was funny. I put up a post. I appreciate you working with us, and thank you for running our tires for so long. And he's just like, and then prep people prep are lazy. I'm like, not really. I mean, I spent a lot of time on tires. But I did say, I commented there that I truly believe that Burris tires take less work at the track, or even prior to track. I don't think they need a prep cycle. I don't think they need to be internally rolled and this and that. I think that there's something to cutting them. There's most definitely something. You want them round cut, you want them thin cut. There's definitely something to that, but I don't think they need the type of prepping at home in preparation for a race that other brands do. You can take that for what you can either love that, or you can be like, hey man, I kind of like working tires, which I don't disagree with either. Uh, Here, started to run one. What's the race events around there? Nice. Uh, yes, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna run a no prep there, you have to enforce it, and I think therein lies we'll call it a problem for people who don't like prep. Just ban prep. I did a whole video on it. It's just like, okay, who's going to police it? This is not only an extra cost on the glasses are always crooked. But who's going to be able to police it? I mean, when you're talking about local tracks, how they don't have the manpower. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to justify it, but if you say no prep, you're going to have to enforce it somehow. The leader, the top five, whatever it is. You're gonna snitches get stitches. If I'm wiping tires in my trailer and somebody comes along, and then again, if no prep's the rule, then I wouldn't do it. I didn't do it. I ran a completely uh, no prep rule with the Reapers last year. It sucked because I think I chose the wrong set that I previously prepped. It was a dirty tire rule. I'm sorry, it wasn't a no prep. But yeah, uh, it's more difficult than just saying ban prep, don't run prep. There has to, the reason why we still run prep, and I think that tracks allow it, series run, allow it and everything, because it's extraordinarily hard to police, and it can, just costly and just all sorts of stuff, and it's just tough. It's you know, okay, what do we got? Yeah, that's it's tough. Um, at least, well, in UAS, at least for the longest time, like a bunch of us, the rules have changed over the years. What engine package were preferred? What like for the longest time, like a Wankel in UAS had to weigh 430 pounds, which with the advancements of everything else, when the motocross engines were allowed, the 450s, the 250s, etc., they were coming in at the same weight cap. Well, it's like you can legit. I just posted that video, and the Wankel is an awesome engine, but it didn't make the near the power the Bama 250 did. You can legit see me come out of it. We'll get that. I think it's a second restart. Kyle Pease is running a Wankel, and I come out of two on that big track. I mean, it's 2016, so not super great footage, but you can see my cart just, and that's 250 power versus Wankel. We had to weigh the same weight back then. They have since adjusted it, and it just, I've never rung what you brung. Not that I have anything to run. I just run my Bama there, but it would be fun to take the weight off. That'd be pretty cool. Just wouldn't be as heavy. Yes, absolutely. Anyone have any? I never I was running 23s last year. So I was running a cycle behind the 24s. Around here, I never heard of Burris coming off the beats. I don't know if it was there could be more to the story than, it wasn't everybody. There was an occasional thing. Questions could be asked, what did they do to the tires? Were they cutting them too thin? Were they manipulating? Were they rolling them internally? Did they soften the sidewalls up? I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to fully put it on the racer. I don't want to, maybe it was Burris, maybe it was an instance where they had something, just a bad batch of rubber or something like that. I never actually did hear. It was like a big to do for like a week, and then it just disappeared. But I ran against people on the regular up here in the north, and I never heard of them coming off the rim. Weedsport is notorious. That's a 33 track. You goad them before you go out on track. And I wasn't getting reports back. Nobody said, "Oh man, they're just coming off." So I think it was either just a real quick bad batch that they quickly corrected for, or people may have it's the some of the bigger, faster tracks, more lateral grip was causing a little stress on them. I don't actually know. It'd be kind of be nice to find out, but is what it is. I'm assuming the 25s are going to be absolutely great. I plan on getting two. I'd like to get two sets of 11s and two sets of 33s this year. I know that doesn't sound a lot, but when you run up north here, it's I don't. And when you run up north and you run in the frequency that I run. If I was a weekend racer, if I was running, state series or for points or this and that, it would take a lot more tires than what I plan on purchasing for a year. But just in general, I run, once, twice a month, and it's plenty of a time to let those tires cycle. Uh, yeah, that's that one of the things about UAS and rung what you brung is I think I'm not against rung what you brung at all, but I can tell you what, I have a UAS legal engine and I can blow the tires loose pretty much anytime I want. It will they will come free from the earth. So I can't even imagine having a big snowmobile engine on there, or say a 300cc two stroke or something like that. I had a 300cc, and it was a lot of fun. But uh, I don't think after a point, I don't see the need, and for obvious reasons, you can see Evan C on a little 150 just waxing people. That thing is lean and mean and ready to fight. So uh, jump forever. I don't think he'll live that long. Forever's a long time. And then over. Yeah, it's see around here when I was watching Ultimate Karting Media yesterday. There are a lot of talk about they're and rightfully so. They're down south, so it's a ton of talk about Maxis and Reapers now. Reapers are really come on, and it's great. It's just it's hard to. I had to ask a question. Like is there going to be with the Reaper? Is there going to be a point where that has got a cycle like a Maxis did? So I know that I don't know the entire inner workings of Maxis in the cycles, but they're people that talk about these crazy. They've got date codes and this and that, and they've been scuffed and they've been re-rolled and this and that, like a constant flow of tires. It's very difficult to understand, and I can't even comprehend it. But that's, if that's what it takes to be fast. My question was that is Reaper going to end up being the same now? Up north, the only thing I can correlate with that is that up north here, at least from my experience, unless you're on something just super kind of like Paradise Speedway. You could be on an older Burris for no problem whatsoever. Matter of fact, they were I feel as if slightly older Burris were even better. But for current racing up north here, fresh Burris 11s, 33s are the way to go. And the same with I'd say Vega yellows. The fresher you can get a Vega yellow, you hit them internally. What's going on, Ernie? I assume that's Ernie. I yeah, I assume with the Vega that the newer Vegas that are freshly plapped and surfaced and this and that are truly going to be way to go. I seem like I ran the Northeast Divisional, speaking of UAS, last year, and they were next to new, but they were like a year old, year two old Vega yellows, and they were a bit off. I could tell. I didn't put a whole lot into them coming into that race, so I didn't, I wasn't like the whole race was not like my intent wasn't to go down and win. It was to go down and see Mark Bergfeld. If you didn't know, Mark has cancer, battling cancer right now. To see my friends and hang out with them. Racing was just a bonus. So my intent wasn't to, just like, oh, I got to have these tires ready, and I'm going down there to, it. I sometimes I go to race just to hang out with my friends. That's I maybe it's because I'm older. I don't want to say I don't still have that same drive. I am as competitive as I ever was, but I have reality in the screen as well. Like if you ain't got it today, you ain't got it today. Just do the best you can, type of thing. Are you also looking for Mike Hunt? Mm-hmm. How about IP Freely? Are you looking for? Are you looking for him as well? That's somebody was trying to get me going in the comments, whatever video it was. I don't know. They said something like I was, taking why you taking down my comments or something like that. It's just like I'm like, wait, are you serious? Like, I don't take down comments unless it's something, like nasty or I try not to swear on this channel, type of thing. If it's uncouth for the channel, I won't take it down. But they just kept on going on. So it's like, dude, I'm way too old for me to be getting offended at anything. I'm try again, as many Reapers. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so fresh stuff. Okay, I'm curious. I still haven't. I haven't reached out to him either. But I'm curious when the Pro. I think that's what I think that's what he was calling it. Supposed to be like 2-3 tenths faster or something like that. I think that the only problem with that, in my mind, is unless it's a softer compound or something like that. But uh, the problem with that is that if you make a tire, it's going to be the same price. Accordingly, the Reaper Pro, everybody's going to want that one. So I would say that unless it's a super soft compound, everybody's going to favor the ones that's faster. Just my opinion on it. No, okay, absolutely. Yeah. Let's say, yeah, I've been hearing the same thing, Ernie. AJC's really good. It I love competition. That's I think that's it's kind of ingrained in me because I ran UAS for so long, that being an open tire guy. Now I don't. I've said in videos before, I don't disagree with tire rules. I get it. I understand it. Obviously, that's for the most part. When people are like, "Oh, tire rules," it's, I hear it most up north here. Like if Burris scares a track or whatever, they're just like, "Oh, you got to run Burris. I'd much rather, run tire." It's like, that's if you go down south and some people want to run Maxis, and now they're Reaper's scooping up a whole bunch of tracks. I'm still not sold on either or, because what is more cost efficient to the racer, because you can obviously make a case that Reaper, if a track goes to Reaper, it's going to be more cost effective to that racer. But if you want to travel at all, if you plan on not going to your local track, um, open tire is the way you want to be, but that means you have to have a plethora of tires. I've done it for a very long time. I've had to have my Burris. I've had to have my Vegas. I've had to have the Maxis. Vega Blues, whatever it is. I've done it for a long time. I don't think that's overly cost effective to be able to carry all these brands. But for the local racer, it's not a bad thing. Tire rules are not a bad thing. It's almost a weight off of my shoulders when I say take the clone down to AMS, because I know that I'm either going to be running 11s or 33s, and chances are most of the time at that track, as soft as it is, SS11s. Bring your SS11s and go race, and that's the only two sets of tires, good to go. That's it. Work those tires, and you're good for a night type of thing. To whereas some other tracks, you never know. I've run everywhere else. Been everywhere in UAS, and sometimes I figure it's a Vega track. I better bring the 33s. Matter of fact, I better bring a set of Maxes, because you never know. So now I got three brands on deck, and then with new tires coming out, AJCs and Reapers, which tire is going to be better at whatever track. It's tough. Tires they're just they're never not going to be a difficult thing to something to overcome in our sport. Just my opinion, though. AJC tiers. Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. You know what? I don't know what dates my Reapers are. I have two. I think they're from the same batch. I got tires two different times. Um, yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely a benefit. I think you could, arguably say that about, in my opinion, Burris are the same way. If they had a buy it track that day type of thing. Matter of fact, I saw when Dumpling Valley in, what was that, 2017, 2015. Maybe it was 2015. It was a while ago. But people were buying Burris at the track, and I'm telling you, 2 seconds a lap faster than my Vegas. Couldn't believe it. Blew my freaking mind. But yeah, and that's if you're going to have a big series like that, if you're going to have a Maximilian or whatever it is, and not saying that, just money's just no object or anything, but if you're running for that kind of prestige, that kind of money, that is more of an evening playing field. You can restrict the amount of tires, how many sets you can buy. People will find a way around that because they'll have, buddy show up that plans on racing, and then they have extra tires. uh we know all the tricks. They will be done. It's really hard to stop that unless you get the barcode thing. You get your stuff scanned, and that's that. But yes, the bigger races, if you're running for big money, buying tires at the track is a great way to even the field. It's a lot of money to show up and buy. Okay, I have my entry fee. I'm going to be running a clone, that run 2 to 5 classes. Who freaking knows? And then how many tires, you got to buy for the day. You know, oh man, I don't need gummies. They're sitting right there. My gummy bears are sitting there tempting me. I don't want to chew on stream. But yeah, so the winter UAS conference and um, benefit for Mark Burfelt and his fight against cancer is coming up here. It is going to be February 15th. I am going down to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to attend that. And there's going to be, there's a raffle. I still don't know how all that's going to work. I haven't booked a hotel yet. I am a procrastinator beyond all procrastinators. Um, yeah, I gotta figure out all the logistics of that. I gotta pay the man for my ticket, but it's going to be at Southern Tier Brewing Company. We are going to just get together. We're going to bench race. We're going to talk about the future of UAS. Bounce some ideas around. Just hang out and talk racing. We did a thing a long time ago. We got together as a UAS group, and what was that place called? It's down in PA. Uh, Jim Thorpe Inn. It was really cool. We got a little room, we had dinner and drinks and what have you, hotel and stayed over, but just got to hang out with my brothers, my racing brothers, and BS. And I really looking forward to that. Bunch of companies have come forward, Track Tac and Burris, being a couple. There's a whole list. I don't want to leave anybody completely off, but those are the two I'm loosely affiliated with. So I'll mention them. But they're going to be raffle tickets to raise money for Mark's cancer, to assist him, because that's it's just a tough thing. Mark, if you know Mark, give you a shirt off his back. I've mentioned it a couple times that I've stayed in his home. Truly a good friend of mine. 2019, drove down to Jasper, PA with him, back and forth, towing both our carts in his trailer. Super good dude. And I hope he's doing well. Last I heard, he was going under Gamma Knife. My old man had his prostate removed, and he had to go under the Gamma Knife. So he was informing me about what the process was, and I was just like, well, he says it does a number on your body, but it'll nuke, hopefully nuke everything that's in there and get rid of that problem. So if you're a religious person, please, prayers for Mark. He's, like I said, he's one of my truly good friends in racing. I've known him for a very long time. Matter of fact, it's a funny story. Oh shoot, what was the name of that track? Oh man, is it Ohio track went down, and it was one of the first, what would be considered a Grand National now. Boy, I'm drawing a blank of what it's called, but my bumper had fallen off, and I was trying to tie it to the wedge. Like, there was a red flag. Mark's friend uh, had been in a bad wreck on the front stretch. We had to kill the engine and everything. I ran to my pits. I grabbed some wire and I tried to tie my pipe because my bumper had fallen off and it was sitting off in turn 3 for the a bunch of the race. And I tried to tie it to my wedge, and he came over and get. It was the first time I actually spoke to Mark. Was he yelled at me? that I can remember. He may have spoken to me before that, but that's my first memory of the interaction with Mark. And then he promptly, the next time we raced together, he apologized. He said he was just pretty torn up about his friend being hurt. Was it Ship? Absolutely killing me. That age is it's a trap. Don't fall in it because I have lots of memories of people and places I've been, and for the life of me, I can't freaking remember them. Uh, Boy, it was a track. I ran that track a couple times down in Ohio. Uh, but yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Guy for Tri County Cartware. Nice, cool, man. Last year was it for you in a cart? Yeah. I My wife is curious when I'll finally pull the plug. No time soon. I'll be 48 in April. Not yet. Uh, I know it's coworker. So everybody bases everything on wins. Oh, you must. I used to win frequently. The older I get, the less frequent the wins are coming. I totally get it. But last year I won. I got one race win, and I ran really pretty darn well in a couple other ones in clone. Not so much in UAS, but yeah, I think I got look old enough for yeah. So I got 10 years in me. Maybe we'll see. If I push it, I lost to a gentleman down in Noggles, PA one time. Oh shoot, I always forget his name when I go. See, it's just there. He was 70 and he beat me. I mean, it was his home track. He had been running UAS a lot longer than I am. It was within the first couple of years of me running UAS, but yeah, he beat me, and I couldn't believe it. I was shoot. How old would I have been? Maybe 30, and I had a 70-year-old guy whoop my rear end. No, maybe I was younger than that. No, I didn't. I didn't start racing karts till I was 25. So yeah, I was probably 30, somewhere in there, somewhere in that neck of the woods. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Harry. Yes, maybe it was Harry. Was it Harry? No, wait, it might have been. You let's see. My memory shot. It's just cook it. It's cooked. Uh, yeah, that's. I mean, I will go until I can't go anymore. The my wife's cool with it, and I think it's oh, karts are for kids. No, they're not. They're for anybody who likes racing. That's what it comes down to. It's just a simpler form of racing. And yes, I know we gripe about it. I totally understand that we gripe about how expensive racing is, but run a micro. Run a run one of the bigger cars. The dollars invested. There's a local guy that comes around and he likes they're late models of some sort, or and he talks about pouring 20 grand into his engine, and I'm just like, whoa, say what? Like at one point in time, there was quite a bit of dollar bills sitting in my barn when Walt was on board, and he went crazy on this engine buying spree, and I had all these carts, and I think at one point in time I had like, was it 4 or 5 different UAS style carts sitting out in my barn. I mean, there was barely room to work. There was a chunk of money sitting in that barn at one point in time, and it was stressful. The I can't be that complex. There was too much for it. I had twin 131s going back there. I had a Jawa. I had the Bama cart. I had the Yamaha cart. Did we have a BRC at one point in time? It was absolutely freaking insane. It's as much fun as that once was. I like the simplistic, the clone and the Bama. It's just so much less to take care of. Uh, hey, Doug. Nice. That's awesome, Doug. How you doing, sir? I hope you are doing well. Awesome. Good call. Welch. Yep, yep. I've heard of them. That's people ask me about engine builders occasionally, and it's just like, man, unless you're going for Todd Miller, JRPW, the main guys that you national level type of guys. I don't. There is horsepower to be gained, and the experience will gain you horsepower. But if you're running on a local level, some just go with who is willing to offer the most assistance, and that's my thoughts on chassis are the same. Chassis. What chassis should I run? Whoever is willing to help you and you can get the most help around you is the best bet. And it would come from engines, come from chassis, assistance, the customer service, whatever it is. That is who you want to go with. It's well and dandy that you have the best of the best. Oh, I've seen this chassis fly or that engine fly. Well, if something goes wrong, are they there for you? And not that you're even sacrificing any horsepower in a clone or anything like that, but having your engine builder near, call them up, text them, hey man, this is happening, and they can say try this. You go sweet. Yep. Age is just an yeah, exactly. Woo. Yeah, that's well, and like I said, it was tough for me when all the NKA, AKRA stuff was going on with the clones, and I'm reading it's justifiable because of where your position is coming from that. But just like, oh, these engines are going to be so expensive, and I'm like, I have a $7,000 Bama sitting downstairs right now, 7 grand, one engine, and it was just like, like, oh man, these things are going to cost $1,600 now. It's like, okay. Like I don't mean to demean anybody's pocketbook or anything like that, but it's just like when you go open racing and you see what kind of money you can put into stuff when you get into just a badass 450 with high compression piston and ported and polished head and ignition system, digital ignition system that you change stuff. It just like listen, listen, listen. Like I hear you, but also this is the world I come from. Where that if you want to have the most juice ever, you better pony up. So clone engine racing. Yes, it's getting a little more expensive with the changes, but it's still relative. It's a couple $100. Okay, you know, but just yep. Nice. Good. 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 That's it. I was curious. I had forgotten what your injury was. I didn't want to comment on it here without you saying. I hate making guesses on stuff and being completely wrong, and then I feel like a jackass. That's terrible. But I'm glad you're doing great. Yeah, June would be fantastic. Get those neck exercises. You know, I just got a card in the mail from my chiropractor today saying, "Hey, we miss you." It's just like you upped your prices. I mean, it's not that it doesn't. I like chiropractic work. I think it keeps me in line and in tune. But also, they up their prices like a bunch. And he always, oh, one more session. It's just like, dude, I'm not made out of money. You're cutting into my cart funds. Cut it out. Yes. Oh yeah, you're more than welcome. Ugh. Ooh, all right, boys. It's getting to be an hour here. Just it's not that I don't enjoy talking with you guys, but also sometimes it's not a bad room to be in. I'm by myself, but also I want to be back out in the barn because when I'm talking to you guys, I can't wait till the weather finally cracks. And then even a little, if I'm not freezing my tush off, I'm gonna go out to the barn and do these lives just so I can have hands on. I can be touching stuff, showing stuff. I prefer that. I've always said that to my friend Walt. He has really good ideas. Uh, about this or about that, and I tell them all the time, unless I can put my hands on it, it's very difficult for me to envision what you're talking about. And I feel the same way. Like it's the videos I've been putting out. the past month or so, it's just tough without physically being able to show what I'm speaking about. It's just, it's just me talking other than that. And I kind of feel the same way in here. Like I want to be like, hey, check out this, tire or this or that. And, explain things, have questions about stuff. It is, he also won't stop talking to me. He doesn't. This is correct. Like, yeah. You'll find out a couple weeks. I'll be just I don't have a ton of ideas about UAS, by the way, yet, but we can brainstorm stuff. But yes, all right, man. I'm gonna get. I wonder what protein I need to lift my max. Oh, yeah. Don't get me into lifting. Yeah, I just leg press 606 on the incline. The incline leg press. The new gym has a incline leg press, and I had to up my protein to make sure I was repairing because my legs got sore. It's not helping my weight situation with the cart. I'm gonna come in. I say fat, but I'm just gonna be heavy. I'm gonna have way too much left side again this year. It's gonna bummer. Yeah, but I like bum protein, raw nutrition. I know you were serious, but that's the kind of protein I have. But all right, guys, I'm gonna bounce off here. I will, yeah, you'll see in a new video Sunday, and I'll come up with a concept for it. Maybe I will do the karting in social media. Maybe not. I've yet to decide it. How inspired I feel Saturday is what way I'll go. But all right, I will. I'll catch you guys later. But yeah, heal up, Doug. Hope to see you racing soon. Later.